A manhunt for collaborators has been declared. Their lives are not protected by law. Our intelligence services are eliminating them, shooting them like pigs.
The Daily Mail revelations come as a surprise, as its article contains a number of accusations against the Russian military and Russian intelligence allegedly committing atrocities. But a significantly bigger part of it is all about how merciless Ukrainians are hunting all those loyal to the Russian forces and joint forces administrations on the ground and killing them like pig. This is something that one would never expect from a democratic country that the West pushes everybody to believe Ukraine is. The article also says that revenge killings orchestrated by Ukraine's special forces have been recently increasingly well organized. Here's another quotation. Let's take a listen.
Others are being tracked down and slaughtered by resistance fighters. A list passed to this newspaper by a Kiev government source identifies 29 such retribution killings, with 13 more assassination attempts that left some targets wounded.
Well, it's true that we never heard things like this from a Daily Mail kind of media, but it's not for the first time that we learn about Kiev regime's war on all those who are, they believe, collaborating with the Russian and joint forces on the ground. Earlier, our team made an exclusive report on an SBU agent, Ilya Bondarchuk, whose job was to organize terror acts and murders targeting pro-Russian politicians throughout Kherson region. And earlier this week, we heard a personal advice from Ukraine's Vice Prime Minister saying collaborators run away. The tragic thing is that Kiev's term collaborators in fact include a very wide range of people, from those who actively help the Russian military on the ground to those who simply agreed to receive humanitarian aid from Moscow. So literally anyone who agreed to stay in the area after Russians took control. We now hear reports about massive arrests of teachers, doctors, ordinary workers in the areas left by the Russians, and we hear that up to 40 people get detained every day. This is what Ukraine's defense ministry says, and I have to remind you that these are just normal, simple people doing their everyday job, and even some EU politicians started questioning this kind of democracy. Let's take a listen.
The EU says Ukraine is fighting to defend democracy from authoritarianism. Russia is authoritarian, but Western governments plus the media are misinforming by failing to call out anti-democracy measures in Ukraine, while dissenting voices in the EU are being silenced. This is also authoritarianism.
Getting back to Daily Mail publication, the feeling is that although admitting that Ukraine is behind a great number of revenge killings, the paper is somehow justifying them by saying that yet another uncomfortable truth is that some Ukrainians have indeed been assisting Russian administrations on the ground, while the fact that later they were hunted and killed like pigs is actually not considered as uncomfortable.